All right, we got BGLC here. Not bad. We might see that breakout on BGLC. I'm going to stick to just pre-market though. We do have a nice level here on BGLC at 150. So we might be able to see, break a 150, 160 at some point today, curling up. Do I think it's going to go higher than that? I don't know. It depends how hot the market is. The market was hot yesterday. We'll see. It doesn't mean it's going to be hot today again. So, always take it, take your market as it comes. BGLC though, maybe a break of 147, break of 150, potentially. Not financial advice. Yeah, we can go through the scan. BGLC, I guess we'll start with BGLC while we're here. We'll pull out the dilution tracker. But it does, I do not see any news here on BGLC, so that could be a deterrent from other traders trading this and focusing on it. It does have an 8 million share float, and it looks like there's no potential offerings coming through the pipeline, and they do have a pretty decent cash position, so probably not any sort of dilution today. Does have an 8 million share float and a $1 stock, so the only thing that's lacking though is news, so I don't know if it's actually going to make a decent move. What else we have today is OMH. We can take a look at OMH. This one made a nice move here from 1 to 7 early in the morning here, from 4:30 a.m. up to 7 a.m. until 7 a.m. Made a very nice move. Let's see, we probably have some news on this at some point, right? Looks like no news. I don't see any news on this one either. We can take a look here at the float. 3.7 million shares float with a potential offering in progress. So that's always something to keep in mind. Potential resistance here with that offering that's looming overhead. We're fading off the highs here. Maybe gave back about half of. Hey, what's up? Good morning, guys. Gave back about half of the gains already on the morning from $1 up to $7. Now we're trading around $4 a share. And it's not something I usually like to see. Coming into the open, I do like when we're consolidating near the highs and over VWAP. If we're consolidating lower, it's usually a bearish open. So I definitely want to give this one some more time. I will put an alert though. Let's see if we can get back over $5. I would be interested for that move back through 5, maybe up through the highs, because you're going to be reclaiming previous support levels that are now acting as resistance, which would be bullish. So OMH, keep that on watch. On the side chart, ARBB is the next, fading off the highs here. Again, very nice move from 1 to 7. So we've had some decent moves early in the morning, 4 a.m. having crazy moves from $2 to $7, 250%. That happened on ARBB and OMH. So we'll see if this momentum can continue. Hopefully with some better volume and right at the open. But we did have the overall market news drop for inflation, and it looks like the market is dipping a little bit from the inflation news. Although it's not a massive dip, it could, sometimes the overall market, if they drop news and it doesn't, they drop news and it causes a lot of volatility in large caps, sometimes you'll see the attention shift from small caps to large caps if large caps are moving. So you have to keep it in mind as well. If we're going to have a very active large cap day, maybe it's more of a risk off type of day in small caps unless you see something really start to take off. And so today I'm really thinking kind of just to be patient and wait for the market to show itself before I really start to push big size, because I don't want to get myself into a hole if today doesn't happen to be a very hot day. So maybe first couple trades, you know, with average share size, and not really start to size up until I start to see that momentum, you know, stocks holding their highs and continuing higher. Until we start to see that, should probably, you know, keep it a little bit, keep my bet size pretty low, or at least average. Because my biggest, usually a lot of my biggest red days are as well are coming after a really big day, thinking that the next day is going to be just as hot, and then I trade even bigger and end up giving back the gains. But yeah, DBGI making a decent move here from $3 a share up to 8, now pushing almost 9. Not bad, not bad here on DBGI. Looks like we do have, wow, just wow. Digital Brain Groups affirms 2024 guidance. So it looks like it's guidance news. Commits to no equity offerings for 2024. Guidance revenue of $27 million. That's pretty decent news. That's some pretty decent news. Market seems to be reacting well to that news on DBGI. I think I like this one here for the open. Let's take a look at the float. So float is sub 1 million shares. So 800,000 shares on the market to trade this stock. And we have some nice news, and they literally said they're committing to no offering. So that puts the bulls in the driver's seat. That leaves a lot of the fear out of the bulls and the long side, because there's you don't have those thoughts of, oh, am I going to get caught in an offering? Is this thing is ripping? I don't want to be the one getting caught in a liquidation or a dilution event. But they've already said they committed to no offerings for 2024. So that's going to put a lot of upward momentum on this stock. Again, you kind of have to take the market as it comes. You know, nothing is ever guaranteed. You know, this thing can flush all the way back down to 3 if it wants. But so far, I like it. So far, from an opinion perspective, not financial advice, this looks pretty decent. This looks pretty decent. If I was a pre-market trader, I would be all over DBGI. I would be all over DBGI. Very nice dip. $1.50 a share on the bounce. That is some insane moves. So yeah, DBGI, we can see that continuation move through 913, and it looks like we do see it, and it looks like we're rejecting the highs so far. If we can get back up over 9, okay, if the bids can get back over 9, then that maybe it'd be a bigger move. No, it looks like it's rejecting. So this is another example of a breakout or bailout trade. So you want to see that break of the highs. If you don't see that immediate surge, you want to be out for break even, small gain. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you guys for all the support, by the way. with my big day. See, now we get back over 9, and then we ripped through 930. So even though we did reject the highs, if you can still get back over that previous high, you're still bullish. And that's just a subtle sign. That's a subtle sign in the price action that you can't notice after the candle's already been made. That can indicate whether to buy or sell. In hindsight, it's like, oh, simple, just buy here and sell up here. But you saw here we had the breakout, we flushed back down, and then we finally reclaimed and continued. But you don't see that in this candle. But those are the small, minute details, which is why it's important to review your film, record your screen every single day, because you'll be able to see the subtle nuances within each 1 minute candle, and you'll be able to minimize your risk and maximize your reward, because it was looking like it would be a false breakout, but we did hold 980, and then if you can get back over 9 psychological level, why would it get back over 9 unless there was someone buying, since it's a psychological resistance level at a breakout level, a breakout and psychological resistance level. If it gets back over 9, then it looks like there's still buyers, so that's why you would want to get back in for that push. But again, that's just the strategy, and it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. It's very hard to stay disciplined with this strategy, because you trade so much and you trade so fast. It's easy for one small slip up. Just getting in at the wrong area can cost you hundreds of dollars. Coming down again here on DBGI. Very nice move so far here from 3 to 10. Hopefully we can consolidate and then maybe consolidate around 7 for that move, then back up through the high at the open, which would be ideal. Again, what I like about it is we do have guidance news, and they pretty much just said that they're not going to have any equity offerings for 2024. So that puts bulls in the driver's seat. That alleviates a lot of the fear in the market for the bulls. So, this thing is a sub 1 million share float, so this thing can fly. This thing can absolutely fly. But yeah, let's see here. Yeah, 0.8 million shares, so 800,000 shares on the market to buy or sell. I like it. We can take a look at a daily chart here. We're right at 10.15. We topped out at 10.15, so right at this previous support, which is now acting as resistance. So as you guys can see, if you're new, it's very important to look at the daily chart, because a lot of times the daily chart will correspond exactly where the potential resistance will be in the intraday chart. So as you can see, before, this area was support. Every time it hit, it bounced, hit, bounced, hit, bounced. And then finally on the 4th time or the 5th time it tested this area, we broke down. So now that area is acting as resistance. And as you can see, boom, right there. By the penny, 10.15, and rejected. And we might see another test at some point. We might see another test, and that's what I'm looking for here at the open for that continuation move. And if we can break that, then maybe we can see, this area, we had days where we could not close above, so we'd probably maybe have some resistance around 12.13. Let's see here. I would think maybe around this area, 12. Maybe there. It starts to get really tough to judge the potential resistance areas because of the wicks. And you don't really know how much volume. Well, I guess you do know how much there's volume, but you don't know, I don't know how much volume is traded up in this area, you know. Because if there's not a lot of volume here, then the resistance may not be up there. Yeah, it gets a little bit like a sort of a grayish area. I'm not really sure exactly where this resistance is going to be here. Maybe 24 at the high of that candle. But this is clear right here. This is very clear. Then as far as support, you know, maybe you have 7 here. If we can hold 7 on this pullback at minimum, then that looks good. And it looks like once we broke that 7, so it looks like already 7 was acting as resistance. We broke through. Now we're bouncing off that $7, and then we continued higher. And now we're coming back to it again. So if we can hold it again and then curl up maybe for another attempt, you know, that would be ideal. If we break down below, you could either look for a bear trap, and a bear trap would be breaking below the support. You know, if shorts are trying to take it lower for the fade, and long stepping in, trapping those shorts, and then squeezing them higher. You know, that could also be a potential setup. DBGI coming right around here on this $7 level. But those are the subtle things that you want to look for a potential entry. But again, that is not financial advice. Not financial advice. Good morning, Biblawoo. Welcome back. All right, so we got VWAP and that $7 level here. Are we going to bounce here? Are we going to bounce here? All right. Maybe we'll see 8. If we can see 8 here, okay, 780, 785, 799, 810. Boom, right there. Right there. There's the bounce, man. There's the bounce. So we had that support area and we had VWAP corresponding together. And we had that nice 50-cent, 60-cent bounce right there. If this was at the open, I would have traded that. You said you sucked yesterday on trading. I mean, that's okay. I know you're more of a new trader, which is fine. You know, you got to start from somewhere. On the hotter days, I remember when I first started in 2020, 2021, every single day there was a stock going 1,000% every single day, and my skills were not there. I was just started, and I was so frustrated. I was seeing people make hundreds of thousands of dollars a day in 2020 and 2021, and I was the guy trying to trade with one share, barely making a couple dollars. And yeah, that was very humbling and very, you know, frustrating experience as well, knowing that, you know, I'm all this opportunity and I'm not unable to, I don't have the skills to capitalize on it. But I didn't let that get to me. I knew that I needed to think long term, and that this opportunity today in 2020, when I first started learning, it's not for me. The opportunity that at that point was not for me. I was not ready. I needed to have started trading years ago to capitalize on that. But the next best thing I could do is not FOMO in and try to force it, not knowing how to trade in 2020. The next best thing I could do was to think long term and be like, okay, you know what? I may not be ready today, but if I can be ready for the next one, if I can be ready for the next opportunity in the market, let's say 2, 3 years, 4 years from now, if I can prepare myself and learn and get enough experience to capitalize on that next opportunity, the next big opportunity in the market, then that's my best chances at being successful. It's not going to be today. It's not going to be pushing size today. That's sort of the mindset that you have to take, because you're going to have a hot days in the markets, and if you're new, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. People who have been making money in the market, they've been trading for years. So you need to give yourself ample time to learn. But it looks like we did hold that $7 level very nicely. What I also like about DBGI is the 200 EMA is way high, super high. It's not like 300 or $60. It's not $60. So we're way off the 200 EMA. So the 200 EMA is not going to come in play, and the 180-day 200 EMA is also not coming in play because it's at $3. So we're already above it. So I like this one. Oh man! So I like this one here for the open. Have you ever traded pre-market? Yes, I've traded pre-market all the time, but my statistics are showing that I only have a slight edge. My edge pre-market is like 10%, so it's virtually non-existent. Like a lot of days I'm sitting red pre-market, and then I'm just frustrated, and I'm emotionally compromised coming into the open, where my biggest edge, my biggest profit factor, my biggest return is right at 930, and I'm emotionally compromised. I don't want that. So that's why I completely stopped pre-market trading, because I just tend to get myself emotionally compromised and emotionally in a fear mindset, and it affects my results where I perform the best, and that's also costing me money. So at the end of the day, it's probably a net negative for me trading pre-market, even though I'm missing out on these great moves. That's completely fine. I'm completely fine with that, because most of the opportunity does come after 9:30. The opportunity pre-market tends to be a little bit spotty unless it's hot market, and if it's a hot market, there's going to be there's going to be an abundance of opportunities all day long, especially at the open where the most volatility happens. So there's no FOMO, there's no regrets of not trading pre-market. Hopefully in 6 months in a year I can look back in my $250 daily. If you're making $250 a day, that's pretty dang good. $250 a day. What's up, Katsuno? It's been a while since I've seen you. I know you were like one of my first subscribers. You've been around for a while. You've seen the growth. Yeah, you're not profitable yet. If you're not profitable, stick with your one share or trade in the sim, and continue to study every day. Continue to watch my recaps. Find other traders who trade similar to you and watch their recaps. A lot of times they're going to show live trades, and that's where you can really refine your approach, refine your trading strategy, and give it a year, give it 2 years, and until you start to get some traction. And then once you start getting some traction, depending on the type of person you are, sizing up can be the easiest part. For me, it was the opposite. For me, I actually got profitable really early. I got profitable really early. Like it only took me like 6 months to start making money, but I was only making like $50 a day, $25-$50 a day. But my problem was sizing up. Sizing up is 10 times harder than ever getting profitable, and that's because my mindset is my weakness. It's not figuring out how to trade. Figuring out how to trade wasn't the hard part for me. Hard part was overcoming my fear, overcoming my mental hang-ups that prevent me from sizing up. So confidence issues. So, you know, that's taken me a very long time to really unwind. But but yeah, I mean, some people have the opposite problem. Some people, you know, it takes them 4 years to even figure out how to make money. But once they start making money, they can size up super easy from like 0 to 100. And they're going from making like $10 a day to overnight making like $1,000 a day. For me, it wasn't like that. For me, it's very, very slow and steady with the sizing up. But to get profitable and figure out my system, it was somewhat short. 6 months to start making at least like 20 to $50 a day. Yeah, everyone has their own journey. It's not the same for everyone. That's why you can't compare yourself. Because some people have strengths where you're weak, and other people are weak where you're strong. We got about 6 minutes here to the open. I still like DBGI. We're consolidating near the highs. We held that $7 level, forming a higher low. 5-minute chart as well, looking pretty decent. Yeah, 5-minute chart looking pretty decent. 1-minute chart looks like we're doing pretty decent. Pick your winner shops and have a great day. Good luck, everyone. Do you have any advice where you take big hits? Do you have any advice on days where you take big hits? Yeah, just you want to identify if the market is going to be your market or not. If the market's not your market, which means like if the market is slow, not giving your setups or not having continuation plays, not a bullish day, you need to recognize that before you put on big size. That's why I am definitely an advocate of, you know, starting the day trying to just get a cushion. And if I can't get a cushion, if I can't make at least $300 or $400 to roll into a big trade, then I'm not sizing up, because I'm going to be only risking into the red. I never want to really risk into the red on a big trade, because that's where you can have some really blowout days. But so I try to get a cushion, make a couple $100 on the day, or whatever your relative is. Maybe it's $50, and then use that profit as a cushion to risk into your bigger trades. So that's way, if you do have a big rip, you're only going back to break even or small red versus going all the way to max loss. So that's one tip I can give you. But thank you guys for tuning in for the pre-market pump. It was a great time. Hopefully you guys can get some green today. You know, markets, who knows what the market will give us today. So far, DBGI looks pretty decent. But again, trading is risky. All information is for educational entertainment purposes. I am not a licensed professional. This is not legitimate investment advice. Day trading is risky. Most people lose money. Be wary of scammers and impersonators as well. But yeah, I'm just going to take today as it comes. You know, if we start to see some hot momentum, I'll size up again and see where I end up. But there'll likely be another recap today, since it does feel like it's a little bit on the warmer end again. So should be a recap later today. So I'll see you guys on the flip side.